Hey y'all, so today we're going to be plucking a 13x4 lace frontal wig unit provided by Passion LLC. This is the wig unit that we're going to be working on. My customer decided that she wanted a middle part, so we'll be focusing on achieving that look for her. She also mentioned that she wanted a natural hairline, so we're going to make the hairline as natural as possible. I use the towel underneath this frontal because I can see the knots better, and it makes the process a little easier to do. I also use water because it doesn't take as long as it does when you're plucking the frontals when they're dry. But I do have to be careful because more hairs do come out when the hair is wet. Here I am combing the hair back. You want to make sure that you comb all the hair back. Make sure you comb all the hair back first before starting so you can see the actual pre-plucked hairline that's already on the wig unit. Now I'm going to be sectioning the hair off into 3 sections. So to prevent over plucking or any bald spots, I'm sectioning off the first 2 rows. I'm going to pluck those last if I need to. After plucking behind the hairline, sometimes you don't even have to go back and pluck the first 2 rows of the hairline. It all depends on the look that you're going for, your personal preference, and the style. The style matters a whole lot when it comes to plucking. Sometimes it's necessary and sometimes it is not. A lot of times it's not necessary to pluck the whole front hairline. It all depends on the look that your client or you are going for. Spraying more water because I like the hair to stay damp the whole time that I'm plucking. I prefer asking my clients if they're going to wear their wigs up, down, anything like that before I even pluck it. Do you think you're going to change your part? I need to know all of those things before I even begin plucking their wig unit, because I like for their wigs to last and I like for them to get as much use out of them as possible. I also like for them to be able to style them again however they want to style them, and I want them to look pretty when they leave me as long as possible. So I try not to make things complicated for their sake. Now I'm twisting these strands together because I don't want to pluck these section. I'm not ready to pluck that section yet. So I'm making sure that particular section is out my way. Now that we have that section off, we're going to go in and create the next 2 sections. You should have a section on both sides and a center section. And make sure you always clip out the areas that you don't want to work on. And there's no real trick to plucking. It's all about personal preference and the look that you're going for. So you gotta have to eyeball it and comb to see. You have to constantly keep checking to make sure you're plucking out those sections that you want to pluck out. Things are looking the way that you want them to look. Now, before you get to plucking, make sure you're holding your tweezers correctly and that it's at a slant to prevent holes, pokes, anything of that nature. And you want to aim for the dots. Aim for the root of the hair, not pieces of the hair. You want to aim for the roots. And I actually realized that I do about 4 strokes, then skip a line, 4 strokes, skip a line, 4 strokes, skip a line. You're going to do that continuously throughout the whole frontal. Now I'm not going to pluck too much in the middle because she's wearing a middle part. Make sure you're holding that tweezer at a slant and keep eyeballing it. It's really a preference thing. Make sure that you're holding the hair as well, the section that you're working on. Make sure you're pulling that back away from the frontal. Comb that hair out, check that area, see if it's anything else that you would like to pluck before moving on to the next area. And I saw a few spots that I wanted to go back over, so that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm kind of going in between some of the spots that I missed, and I saw where the thickness was coming from, so I'm sectioning it off again. I was holding my tweezer around. Make sure you hold that tweezer at a slant. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I plucked a lot there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I'm actually moving. I'm not standing in the same spot. As you can tell, I'm moving over a little bit. Every time I get those 4 pieces, I'm kind of sliding over to the next portion of hair. You know how guys kind of get fades? It's kind of like a fade. You want it to blend right in with each other. Like you want each row to blend, not be bald, but blend. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. You don't want it to be patchy. You want it to be as evenly plucked as possible. I never go too far back into the frontal because it's kind of pointless. And like I said before, I like for my clients to be able to reuse their wig units. And the frontal is going to naturally lose hair over time anyway. So I actually grabbed the front row to see how it looked. Now I'm going in between a few sections to make it blend even better with that front row. I'm not plucking the front row. I'm going in between. Now, if this client ever decides that she wants baby hair, she'll be able to go back and do so. That's another reason why you don't want to pluck all of the hair from the front. Here I am going in between, making it look even more natural. I always make sure that you're combing the excess hair out. Stop, comb the hair out, check it, make sure that you're getting everything that you want to get, and it'll prevent you from doing any unnecessary plucking. Now I'm almost done with this section. I see a few more areas that I'm going to get that are kind of thick and not blending in with what I've previously done, so I'm going back through those. This process can be a little tedious and time consuming, so it's very important that clients bring their hair or leave their unit for 2 days prior to their appointment, especially when you have a large clientele. Now we're jumping over here to the other side, pulling it back, trying to check it out before I get in there and start plucking. I don't know why, but I always have to check it out first. I'm sectioning off a few rows prior to going in there and plucking anything. And that row was a little thick, so I am parting it off again. Now I'm going to attach that leave out to the front of the rest of the hair that I'm leaving out in the front. That was actually a horrible clip. That clip is kind of loose. Damp the hair. And you will see me actually pull some hairs out backwards, and then I'll go forward as well. Now, so I kind of do things my own way. I do a lot of things my own way. You'll learn that about me. I don't always do what I see other people do. I do what works for me. So when it comes to plucking, frontals, closures, I do a lot of things my way, my own way. So don't judge me. There's no right or wrong way to do hair. As long as you're getting the results that you're looking for, baby, it counts. It does not matter. Now I'll section off a big chunk this time, but you'll see me separate that section as needed. Holding that hair back, pulling my tweezers back at a slant. Kind of going fast over here, but I hope y'all understand what I'm doing. I'm not digging straight down into the hair at all. And being that I got the other side, I know how the other side looks, it's kind of easier for me to mimic the same thing on the opposite side. It was a little project trying to show y'all how I pluck, making sure y'all can see and I can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check the hair, comb out the excess, section off that next row that you want to work on. Now the lines don't have to be perfect because the knots are staggered anyway, but try to get as straight as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding that tweeze at a slant. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip. Comb that hair out. One, 2, 3, 4. And I'm taking long strokes, no short strokes. I'm taking long strokes. And I'm making sure that I'm actually grabbing at the knots. Grab at the knots. Wet or dry, make sure you're grabbing at the knots because you don't want to pop the hair strands. If you pop the hair strands, then you have a lot of unnecessary spiky pieces, which your frontal and the closure are going to have those turnaround hairs anyway because they're hair and tied, but you don't want to create them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comb the hair back, see how it looks with the front hairline included. Now you can see there are some full spots that I'm going to go back in there and get. They don't blend too well with the front hairline, so I'm going to go back through those. I'm checking again. Don't rush the process, trust the process, okay? All of that is too thick for me, so I'm going in there and thinning that out so that it'll blend better with the rows that I've already done. Hold that hair real tight. Make sure it's smooth too. You don't want the hair balled up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mind you, I'm going in between the first row, not at the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here I am just plucking as needed. I'm plucking wherever I see it needs to be plucked. And again, it's all about preference and the look that you're going for, the look that your client's going for. That's all that matters. Whatever they're going for, you want to try to achieve that look and get it as close as possible. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more. I'm getting more confident with doing it. So yeah, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, thumbs up the video, and also share with a friend. If you'd like to follow me on other social media platforms, we have TikTok at Pretty Passion LLC, Instagram Pretty Passion LLC, and we also have Snapchat at Pretty Passion Co. Make sure y'all follow me and stuff. I like knowing that I'm helping people. And I also like to share the things that I've learned over the years that helped me become a better hairstylist. And I'm going forward. I didn't have to go forward on the other side. And it's kind of something about doing the right side for me. Maybe it's the left side, I don't remember, but the opposite side. Sometimes I have to go forward to get extra hairs out. I don't know. It's just, I have to do it sometimes. I have to pluck forward. It don't feel right. Now here I am coming all of the hair back just to make sure that both sides kind of mirror each other. They're not going to be identical, but you always try to get them as close as possible. Combing everything back. And remember, my client wants the middle part, so we haven't done the middle of this frontal yet, but we're going to get there. I'm just checking both sides, showing you all how they look. And once again, this is a slow process. This is like the most time consuming part for me. See, and I saw a spot that I wanted to thin out some more, so I'm going back in there to do so. Sectioning off that area with my comb. Clipping that piece that I don't want to pluck out of my way. That's very important. Making sure you're not grabbing too much hair at one time, and just, you always want to be in control of the hair. So pull that hair towards the frontal and then take some pieces out. And you do take more pieces out when you tweeze forward than you do backwards. And again, this is just preference. You pluck based on your preference. Slow, long strokes. Comb the hair backwards to check again. See, that looks way better than it did before. A lot better. And I'm going in thinning some more areas out. And like I said, I'm going in between the front portion. I like the results that I have on both sides, so I'm going to jump into the middle. So this is the look that we have so far, which I could just leave like that because there's not much wrong with it at all, but that's not the look that we're going for. So prior to starting the middle, you want to section off that middle part where your client wants her part to be. Yeah, that looks really good already. So I'm not going to do too much plucking around that part. Saturating the hair again. Smoothing it out, getting it as flat as possible. Making sure there are not any knots or tangling going on. So there's a little, a few little thick spots that we can attack around that middle part. And it'll keep the part from looking too bulky as well. Slow strokes, but I'm moving forward this time because I'm trying to take out a good bit of hair, but not too much. Just blending each section together. Comb that hair out. Yeah, now that looks way better than it did before, to me. Long strokes. And it's very little that I want to do. I don't want to manipulate it too much, so I'm not doing the 4 to 6 to 8 strokes that I was doing previously. And mimicking the same thing on the opposite side. Down at an angle. Make sure you're slanting your tweezers. I think I actually went up a little higher on that side previously before plucking the center portion, so I didn't have to pluck as much around the part on that particular side because it was already thin enough. And this is the final product. This is how it came out. Very pretty, very natural, as requested.